from my given disaster. Speed away from the holy mind. Pride. That's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today, we're going to be doing a little basement reno update for you guys to see basically where we are in the progress. We're almost fully complete. We just have to finish this wet bar area. So add the beverage fridge. Mike's gonna add a sink, a faucet. We want to do like some floating shelves, wallpaper, things like that. But we figured that project can kind of wait, and we already want to get started in bringing some of like the girls' toys and stuff down here. So today is gonna be the time for me to, a lot of the tools that Mike is still like using to do finishing touches and stuff, that I'm just going to kind of consolidate, reorganize it in different areas of the basement. And then the floors after demo, I'm sure you guys know, they're dusty, they're messy. So I'm gonna tackle vacuuming. Give it a good steam mop so any bacteria, so any germs and everything like that can be out the way. And then we did paint it. As you can see, the walls are almost like a white color, but whenever you're doing like construction, things like that, it does tend to scuff up your wall sometimes when you're working with different tools. So I'm gonna take my little magic eraser and I'm gonna go around and fix and clean up any type of marks or stains that we have on the wall. This way, like I said, we could get started and little by little working our way down here, because I will be doing a big playroom organization. So you guys see how I set it up, how I organize all the girls' toys. This way they can have the most of their space while still having a lot of room to kind of move around. If you guys enjoy these kinds of videos, enjoy cleaning with me, give this video a big thumbs up. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button for home decor, cleaning, and organization. And let's go ahead and get started. So I first wanted to start off with the update. That's, I'm sure, what you guys are most excited to be seeing for today. What is going on in the basement? You guys know this was a 100% unfinished basement, and we went ahead, tackled this whole project ourselves, gutting every single thing, new flooring, sheetrock framing, literally everything. So I'm showing you what everything looks like beforehand, what the status is currently right now, and it is very messy. There's a lot of stuff everywhere, and you cannot see it by the eye, but the floors are a complete disaster, dusty, dirty. So I really have to get on in there and get those all cleaned up before I start bringing down some of the girl stuff and adding finishing touches in here.
Keep on driving and driving along the roads and never end. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and
all right, so after I've went ahead and kind of just pushed that table towards the back, I'm going to use this area to reorganize things above as well as below. I'm putting some gloves on because, like I said, things are very dusty down here from all the construction. So I'm going to be going through, seeing what needs to be tossed in one of those really large like construction garbage bags. And then Mike's kind of pointing out, showing me here what he needs to keep, what he's not, since I don't exactly know, too familiar with some of the items. And then I'm going to be also, if you don't know, this basement is 800 square feet. 200 of it we closed out for storage. So there is a little closet door area that I'm easily able to access right on the opposite side here. So we're just going to go ahead and place in the things that we are keeping and no longer going to be needing or using for the rest of the construction of this basement into that storage space. There were lots of different tools and stuff also mixed in here, so I wanted to separate, like there's leftover grout that we had, insulation, all that things that we still want to keep for the future for doing any type of construction. It's good to always have that on hand. So I'm separating that into different like categories and piles before organizing it back underneath the table.
All the red lights keep on driving and driving.
And just so you guys know, this is the first go around of cleaning up. We are still going to be doing it multiple times. Actually, I filmed this a couple of days ago, and since then I have already cleaned the floors 2 more times because, as I mentioned, we're still doing a couple of things. A lot of these tools have a little dust and construction. Believe it or not, dust is just absolutely everywhere in the renovation process. So I'm vacuuming all the dust that's underneath this table, and then you're going to be seeing me wipe down all of like the tools and things like that with just basically like a old t-shirt that we'll use like as cloths. I spray it with some just a multi-purpose spray, and I'm wiping all of that down this way to get rid of as much as we possibly can.
On repeat like it is never gonna stop. I can't help myself from feeling all alone. But you got me good, or you got me good.
So as you see here, I just have these different piles, and excuse the little noise that you guys are hearing in the back. I'm actually currently in the basement right now at my desk filming this and doing the voiceover, and the girls are in front of me playing with blocks. But yes, I'm just putting everything back underneath that we're still going to be using. Mike basically just has to still do, like I said, the wet bar, the sink, finish up the ceiling. So it's still not 100% complete and done. So I wanted to make sure I had things that he needed, easy access, still be able to find it. But I was over just kind of having it all spread out throughout the entire basement as you guys originally saw, because it was getting a little crazy down there. So just organizing, consolidating really made a big difference for me, and being able to get to the floor since I knew I was going to have to clean everything up multiple times until we're officially like fully down there.
Right now I'm standing in a corner. I see you from across the room. It's kinda crowded here, but I know you see me too. Everybody's singing, oh, everybody's singing, oh. I don't know what it is about you. It must be in the way you move. Just say you want me to. We got nothing to lose. You're looking so so now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do, baby. Let me love you, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you, baby. Let me love you, let me love you, let me love, baby. Let me love you.
Once I went ahead and, as you saw, kind of consolidated the items on the lower portion of the table, and that was all in the middle of that side of the basement, I now wanted to go ahead and organize more of the items in the top. So there were some things that just were ready to be tossed, done working with, or some things that were put away for future projects that we may need. So I kept it pretty minimal, just putting everything in 2 separate corners on this table. And then you will be seeing that I'm going to be giving it a wipe down because there was tons of debris all over this table. After we're actually done with this renovation project, we're going to be throwing this table out because it has been through so much during this basement reno that it is ready to kind of go on out.
Just say the word and we can leave this place. I'll take you anywhere you want. As long as we're together, everything we'll do. You got me going, oh, you got me going, oh. Now I'm moving closer to you, and it's getting dark in this room. Tell me what you wanna do. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, let me love. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, let me love. Baby, let me love you. When I look in your eyes, I don't know how, but it feels like I'm drunk on you. It's almost like you make me fly. And when I look at you smile, I don't know how, but it feels like I'm drunk on you. It feels like I'm drunk on you. It feels like I'm
And after I wiped down with just the dry rag, I went ahead and spritzed like a little bit of water just onto the napkin. This way it could add some moisture and kind of pick up a little bit extra of the dirt. You'll see, especially when I'm vacuuming, you think the vacuum kind of picked everything up. And then when I went in with my steam mop later on, it picked up so much more and it was like jet black. Do you guys see how dirty that is? So once I'm done clearing that off, I threw those in the garbage. It was time for the gloves to be tossed. And then I'm going to be moving on to the other corner here, spritzing down all of the large equipment. Same thing, a lot of dust got all over it, giving that a good deep clean. And then I'm going to be putting it all in this corner that we're not going to be currently using, with all of like the additional tools and things like that.
When I look in your eyes, I don't know how, but it feels like I'm drunk on you. It's almost like you make me fly. And when I look at you smile, I don't know how, but it feels like I'm drunk on you. It feels like I'm drunk on you. It feels like I'm drunk on you. Oh! Let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love you, let me love you. Baby, let me love you, let me love you. Let me love, let me love, let me love you. Let me love you.
Then on this next area, my husband just had like basically his construction clothes that he uses when he works down here. And then he also had a bunch of miscellaneous tools. So I wanted to put those into like this little toolbox that he has, that he keeps the items really easy on hand, like his screws, all of his drills, things like that are more smaller, hammers and such. So I'm getting that all situated. And then I'm going to be actually moving this big box, if you see below it with the plywood underneath, it actually was where we had the cabinets for the wet bar. So we're going to be putting that out in bulk pickup. So for now, I'm just going to be placing it in the corner attached to the wet bar, so I have a little more space to also clean all underneath. Now onto the girls' playroom side of the basement. You see there are a lot of like smaller tools, things that Mike kind of used to sand up the staircase because we had to totally redo that. So I wanted to get all of that out of the way because, as I mentioned, after this I want to start bringing some of the items downstairs, building the girls' little shelf for their cubicle organizers, all that stuff, so we have extra trim and all of that. There was so much cardboard that like Mike likes to put down to protect the flooring, of course, by any of the tools. But we were almost done with a lot of them, so I was so excited to just kind of get rid of all of this, fold it on out, and get it tossed in the garbage. And then I'm going to be giving that big vacuum a mop. This is perfect when doing construction. He used it a ton for dust, but even then, it's just all over the place. And then I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek actually of the sink. This is the Kohler sink that we plan on using for the wet bar area. Very small, but it is the perfect size. I'm sure if you guys have seen wet bars, it's basically we're going to have like a little mini fridge, the mini faucet with sink down there, just so we could have beverages and things like that hanging out when we're like watching movies. So that was really pretty. I wanted all white and we were able to find it at a great price. And then I went ahead, all of these like extra cloths, they're just basically, we use them. They're like old blankets that we use for construction when we're painting. And now it's time for baseboards, the funnest part of all. You see all that dust and dirt that's on there. So we went ahead and wiped it all down. I first like to wipe it dry and then I'll go ahead and spritz a little spray on it and go ahead and wipe it down. You see how I'm getting all of this all over my pants as well. And that's why I'm also wearing these sock booties, because I hand wash them and then I toss them in the actual wash afterwards, instead of coming down here with house slippers, bare feet, and things like that that would just track dirt upstairs. Then on this particular day, I'm already moving on to floors. I was down here for hours and hours. I was exhausted by this point, so I didn't get to doing the scuffs on the actual walls. That'll be for another day, but I am going to now do the flooring. So I'm just taking my Dyson vacuum. I'm giving that a good vacuum. This is actually one we've had for, I want to say like 10 years at this point. So I didn't want to use my newer cordless vacuum that I use upstairs because, as I mentioned, this is great for using for like our front patio, things like that, that I don't have to worry too much about it getting all the dust on there. And I was also going to be doing a deep cleaning of this just a couple of days later. So I'm giving the entire basement a vacuum, and then I'm going to be taking my steam mop with also putting some floor cleaner on the floor because, like I said, it needed extra clean, and I went ahead and did that throughout the entire basement as well. Alright you guys, this now completes today's video. I hope it gave you some extreme motivation to get started on a project that you have in your own home. Go ahead, get that area cleaned up. Be sure to thumbs it up if you enjoyed watching. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new here for more home organization and cleaning, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye.